everybody. So, had some developments overnight. Had some drops in regard to the market, and I'm pretty sure people are wondering, like, what's going on? Why is Bitcoin dropping? We just bought this or whatever. Um, you have to remember, Bitcoin is an international currency, and it's also tied to the hundreds of other cryptocurrencies that are out there. Bitcoin has the largest market cap, meaning that it's the most traded cryptocurrency that's on the market right now, and it's the most popular. It's got implementation bias, and that everybody knows about it. People have created wallets for it. And they've also, use it to purchase the other cryptocurrencies. So, for instance, I can't go on an exchange and purchase Ray blocks with Ripple. Not all exchanges will do that, but I can convert my Ripple into Bitcoin and use that Bitcoin to purchase other currencies like Neo, Ray blocks, what have you. So that being the case, Bitcoin is linked to all of the currencies and linked to the market in general. But the most important thing to understand is we are talking about a global cryptocurrency. So, even if you purchase cryptocurrency here in America, your portfolio is going to fluctuate based off of things that happen in the international community. Case in point, South Korea. So today, South Korea, basically, well, not today, yesterday, apparently, South Korea decided that they were going to crack down on cryptocurrency markets in South Korea. And South Korea does a lot of trading. It does a lot of trading. And so that's created a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market. So a lot of people, are becoming bearish in regard to cryptocurrency, and are either pulling back or moving their assets other places, or just not trading as much because they're worried, rightfully so, about what's going to happen to cryptocurrency in the future. This attack on cryptocurrency by this fiat-based government, because like I've talked to you numerous times before, fiat is going to fight back. Fiat will continue to fight back. It was a sleeping giant. Whenever Bitcoin was an anomaly, and Mt. Gox happened, and people lost a lot of Bitcoins through that exchange and whatnot. The powers that be, didn't see Bitcoin, as a threat. They didn't see cryptocurrency as a threat. It was just something that hobbyists use, that drug dealers use on the internet, to mask their transactions. But it wasn't something that was widely adopted by the people. However, we've seen, based off of the implosion of numerous governments, financial sectors around the world, including the impending implosion, because I do believe that's coming here in the U.S. We've seen, due to the implosion of fiat currency around the world, and the weakening of fiat currency around the world, these banking sectors, which are controlled by the rich, are becoming increasingly frightened. So we've seen regulation step in. The tax bill that just happened wasn't just here in the U.S. wasn't just an attack on the middle class. It was, if you look at the fine print, this is one thing that was highly overlooked during the debate portion. Well, there was no debate portion. They just passed the tax bill. But during the discussion about the tax bill, there wasn't a lot of discussion about what cryptocurrency was. They kind of snuck that in there. These heavy regulations that they're implementing now. And it's happening in China. China has banned, cryptocurrency mining. But like every technology, life finds a way, and a lot of these technologies were moving away from mining to begin with, and moving into a proof of stake model, meaning that they don't rely upon the energy consumption and the miners and whatnot in order to function. They just basically require a number of individuals to be holding and trading that currency, and then they do a small proof of work algorithm on the respective computers that hold the volume of the currency, and that allows the currency to confirm who has what and where and how much. And then that's another thing too. Even though China has banned it, a lot of these organizations have just basically moved their operations, out of state, just like what happened with the market here, the manufacturing market here in the U.S. If you can't get past the regulations, here in this country, then okay, I'll just take my iPhone factory to Singapore, where we can work workers for 48 hours and force them to live on site to get our production numbers up. So it's the same thing. These Chinese miners have basically said, okay, well, we'll just take our large repository of computers and continue our mining operations, elsewhere. We are living in a global economy. That's why this cannot be stopped, and that's the problem. So anyway, so South Korea is trying to do it and trying to regulate it. There's a little bit of accuracy into what's happening right now, but there's also some gross misreporting of what's happened. I got these notices going off all over the place. All right, so nothing's finalized. South Korea government ministries diverge over crypto ban proposal. So this is not something that was actually implemented, countrywide in South Korea. As a matter of fact, within the South Korean government, there are a lot of advocates for cryptocurrency. So we're not talking about shutting down Bitcoin or stopping Bitcoin. We're talking more so about regulating Bitcoin appropriately. The main what am I trying to say? The main individual behind the Neo project. I'll post that link in the group. But the main individual behind the Neo project just basically stated that they want regulation, they want governments to step in and control some of the craziness that's going on in the markets. From my understanding, in South Korea, it wasn't the market, it wasn't cryptocurrency that they were trying to ban. They were more so trying to implement certain policies that were not universal across the board. Case in point, anybody who signed up for a Binance account or a Coinbase account, you understand that you had to present your ID and you had to give some data that basically prove that you were who you said you were. So you couldn't come on and use those services in an anonymous fashion, which would promote potentially malicious, behavior. If you're in there anonymously and no one knows who you are, and you're just doing pump and dump schemes and hustling people, out of their crypto, then you shouldn't be in that market. We don't need assholes in the market. And so we do need a certain amount of regulation. I'm not, a proponent of no regulation. Bitcoin needs to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrency needs to be, the Wild West forever. Everybody needs to be able to do whatever they want to do. I'm not an anarchist. I do recognize that that regulations are necessary. If you're going to play a game, you got to have some kind of rules. Otherwise, somebody's going to run away with the ball at some point. So, with that being said, I commend South Korea for what it's done as far as stepping in and trying to navigate this space and respect cryptocurrency exchanges for what they are and try to do their part in making sure that this new market doesn't become, a Shark Tank where guppies come in, they lose their lives. Because mistakes are going to be made, period. But people need to be able to make mistakes in a safe atmosphere. If you take out a loan and you put 5,000 on the latest shitcoin that hits the market, then you probably deserve to lose that because you didn't respect the tech, you didn't try to research, you didn't read any white papers. You just saw numbers going up, and that made you happy. But if you get into a market and you just have your crypto sitting in a wallet and you're trading, normally, there's no need for you shouldn't be concerned about losing everything that you have because a couple unidentified whales came in and drove your profits, through the ground, forcing a bunch of individuals to do a fire sale, and making your investment, go to shit. So anyway, make a long story short, nothing's finalized. The government ministries diverge over the crypto ban proposal. Conflicting reports today, January 11th, had led to confusion after a South Korean minister announced plans of a bill intending to ban cryptocurrency trading in the country. According to Reuters, South Korean officials are working on documentation that will make it illegal to trade virtual currencies on local exchanges. The country's Justice Minister Park Sang-ki said the decision comes in the wake of discussions and agreements between governmental departments, including its finance ministry and financial regulators. So this is basically the SEC of South Korea, making these calls. Reuters reported that Sang-ki announced the ban in a press conference, stating there are great concerns regarding virtual currencies, and the Justice Ministry is basically preparing a bill to ban cryptocurrency trading through exchanges. So they're just preparing a bill. They haven't actually passed anything. They're preparing a bill, and there are people in the government who are pushing back on the bill. Now, some reports that I've read online via Reddit and other exchanges, because I don't speak South Korean, I can't read South Korean newspapers. I don't know anything about South Korean politics like that. So I'm just going off of South Koreans who are talking online. But they've said that this is pretty much guaranteed to go through, but then there's also pushback, meaning that there are going to be caveats. There's going to be exceptions to the rule. But even if it goes through, even if South Korea said, you know what, no more cryptocurrency ever again. No one trades cryptocurrency. If you're caught trading cryptocurrency or whatever, we're throwing you in the bank for 1 billion years. Okay, even if South Korea did that, yeah, it would hurt because that market we don't have access to that market per se, but those individuals still have access to a bunch of other markets in a bunch of other areas. Binance is not the only exchange. KuCoin, which is a South Korean exchange, is not the only exchange. So if KuCoin gets shut down, then yeah, Binance will fill in the gap. Binance is Chinese, and Chinese just banned cryptocurrency mining, but they can't ban a website. And so what ends up happening is individuals, if life finds a way, these people who are making money in this cryptocurrency space, they're just going to move their assets to crypto-friendly locations. They're going to move to crypto-friendly markets. So basically the entire financial sector would have to shut down the internet globally. I can go to an exchange in the Netherlands. I can go to an exchange in Botswana. I can go to an exchange in India. You're going to see some of these smaller exchanges that don't get as much recognition pop up and get an influx of trading volume because of the fact that you have these other exchanges that are being cracked down on by their governments. Now, the only thing that I'm worried about, or that does give me some concern, is converting back to fiat, because we know there's a lot of people who are trying to bridge the gap between living a completely cryptocurrency oriented lifestyle and in a fiat-based lifestyle. We're not in a place right now where I can go down to my my grocery store and pay for an apple with Bitcoin Cash as much as I might want to. So with that being the case, we're going to probably start seeing people devising, workarounds. Maybe I'll trade in a foreign exchange, but then there'll be, some entity there that can convert my currency into dollars or yuan or yen or shekels or whatever your currency might be, and then wire that shit back to you, which would definitely cause some kind of delay in regard to getting your stuff out the market, but and maybe even getting it into the market to a certain extent. So the on ramps are going to become less accessible if they crack down completely here. But there's nothing, they would have to track basically financial exchanges, all over the globe in order for this to be effective. And considering that our governments can't collaborate on shit, I doubt that's going to happen. I doubt that there's going to be a way for them to completely stop cryptocurrency trading and stop the conversion from fiat into cryptocurrency the way that they're trying to do. They are definitely trying to do it, and there's definitely a lot of money behind stopping this transition. But I don't think it's going to be successful in the long term. Okay, so There are great concerns regarding virtual currency, and the Justice Ministry is basically preparing a bill to ban cryptocurrency trading through exchanges. However, South Korea-based Cointelegraph contributor Joseph Young reported on his personal Twitter today, citing local sources, that the South Korean Ministry of Strategy and Finance does not agree with the proposal from the Ministry of Justice to ban cryptocurrency trade in the country. Young reports that a final decision has yet to be made. Like I said, this is not anything concrete just yet, so don't succumb to the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that you're seeing. And this is, and I want to point that out too. Like let's hop between, because this isn't the first one. This isn't the first place citing. This is why you have to do your research. I'm just gonna do cryptocurrency South Korea. Just doing a nice little Google search for the news. Okay, let's click on this little CNN Money article. Right, so if I just go to one source, that's the only source I ever listen to, and the only source I ever trust, then yeah, this is what you run into. So yeah, CNN, reputable news service or whatever. Here's what they're saying. Bitcoin crazy South Korea may face a ban on cryptocurrency trading. So already, if you're into cryptocurrency in South Korea, you're crazy. You're Bitcoin crazy, right? So this is where the fear, uncertainty, and doubt comes in. So if you're sitting on the fence here in this country and you're like, yeah, tax time is here, should I go and, put all my money into my 401k, or should I try to, dabble a little bit in this cryptocurrency space? All right, automatically, you're like, I don't want to be called, crazy. I'm not South Korean. All right, so Bitcoin trading could soon be outlawed in one of the virtual currency's biggest markets. All right, so that should scare the shit out of you, right? The South Korean government is preparing a bill to ban trading in all cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Justice Manager Park Sang-ki said Thursday. There are great concerns regarding virtual money. The government has repeatedly warned about the fact that it is a very dangerous transaction, but the message has not properly been delivered. So we've been trying to tell you how scary cryptocurrency is, how scary Bitcoin is, but you haven't been listening. So, South Korea needs to step in and protect you from you, all right? So that's the message that's being sent. Park didn't give details on when the bill would be introduced in Parliament, but his comments prompted Bitcoin to fall sharply. All right, so this is key. All right, Park didn't give details on when the bill would be introduced in Parliament, but his comments prompted Bitcoin to fall sharply. So like I said before, this is not giving you any different information than what was presented on this website, Cointelegraph. However, the way that it's presented creates a certain amount of fear, uncertainty, and doubt that drives people away from the market and drives down the price of Bitcoin. Then what happens? You have these whales, these people in the financial sector, the same people who are ripping on this currency. They swoop in, they scoop up these cryptos at bargain basement rates because you're scared. They're not. They have the money to go ahead and do what they want to do. So they scoop up these cryptos at bargain basement rates because that's the only way that they can get access to them is if you give them away. You have to give them to them. They can't just go and make them on their own. That's the benefit of blockchain technology. That's the benefit of Tangle. That's the benefit of these new technologies that are out. We have these assets that cannot be manufactured, acquired. The only thing you can do is talk shit about them, drive down their price, and then take them from individuals who are scared about them. So you depreciate the value of the asset in the public sphere low enough so people can swoop in and grab them. You can swoop in and grab them, all right? And that way, fiat stays king because everybody's already been trained to worship, the almighty dollar. It's the only stable currency that's out there. How dare you try to convert into this pretend currency or whatever? Let me take that off your hands. Let me take that away from you. And then let me use, these portals like CNN to convince you that you're making the best, the soundest decision by refusing to subscribe to this new cryptocurrency model. You don't need to do that. Let me take those off your hands for you and give you, some dollars for that. All right, some depreciating bullshit dollars for that. All right. So the digital currency, which is known for its volatility, dropped around 14% before recovering slightly in early afternoon trading in Asia. All right, Ethereum, another cryptocurrency hugely popular in South Korea, also fell 14%. A frenzy of cryptocurrency trading swept Korea last year, helping propel huge gains in Bitcoin and other virtual coins. The country has accounted for as little as much as a fifth of global Bitcoin trade in some days in recent months. But the country's government has been moving toward greater regulation of digital currencies in recent weeks. Fear. Introducing a new law in late December that gives authorities the power to shut down Bitcoin exchanges. Such moves remain a possibility, Park said, before likening cryptocurrency trading to speculation and gambling. The government's basic position is that virtual currency trading is extremely dangerous and the bubble may burst anytime. Anytime it could happen. All right. Now note that it's also talking about it gives authorities the power to shut down Bitcoin exchanges. Yes, in South Korea. That's it. They can't fly to Africa and shut down an exchange. They can't fly to Australia and shut down an exchange. They can't go to Norway and stop Bitcoin miners. They can't stop this shit. They can stop it maybe in South Korea. They can stop the exchange, but they can't stop. They're not going to stop the banking sector. So if I might have an exchange in Norway. If they have an international bank that they're partnered with or they work with, I can just work in Norway and to get my shit transferred, get my shit wired from there to my local bank account again. I'm not dealing with exchanges anymore. I'm dealing with a bank in Norway. What are you gonna prohibit that soon? So it's like a game of whack-a-mole. How many financial on-ramps are they going to be able to stop? Are they going to be able to prevent? And then don't get me started on decentralized. All someone has to do is come up with a decentralized exchange. Oh my God. A decentralized exchange where basically you can just go on anywhere, access the exchange anywhere. It's built into one of these cryptocurrency platforms. How are you going to regulate that? Who's going to stop it? You have to shut down the fucking internet. Because if every individual is part of this decentralized exchange, then yeah, they're fucked. The governments are fucked. There's nothing that they can do. So that's why they're trying to stop it now and try to nip this in the bud. Because right now the exchanges are still pretty much centralized in that they reside in specific places. All right, Binance, was a Chinese exchange, but even the operator of that exchange, the CEO of that exchange, is moving that exchange out of China and moving it to Japan because Japan is crypto friendly. They're embracing this technology. They're invested in this technology. All right? It's these other countries which have been using fiat for years to control their populations, to keep them poor, keep them silent, control elections, control wars. They're the ones who need to have control over their fiat currency and how it's being manipulated in the market. This is bigger market manipulation than China ever was able to do, according to Trump. All right, this is actually upending fiat currency all around the globe. All right, and that's the main reason why Japan's on it, because Japan's like, we don't have a military. We haven't been aggressive, since World War II. We were banned from having a military. That's why we went all tech. That's why you can, find a toilet in Japan that, can send emails and wipe your ass for you, because they doubled down on technology. And that's how they've become an international player. And the main reason why, Americans are beholden to the Japanese economy because, everybody's got a PlayStation, Nintendo, smart TVs, smart cars, smartphones, those components, that technology, originated because Japan said, we can't have a military, we can't expand ourselves anymore. We've got to double down on education. We're just going to become smarter than everybody else. And you're going to come to us for our gadgets and toys and gizmos. All right. So that's why they aren't sweating this, because whether it's Bitcoin or the dollar or a shekel or a rupee, you're going to spend all that shit trying to get what they have because they actually produce shit. It's these countries that don't produce anything, like America, that don't have any exports that other people want, like America, that need to control their fiat currency because that's the only way we can get you to continue to support us is if you use our dollar to purchase goods and services. As long as our dollar is the standard, then yeah, you have to come through us. We're the middleman. All right. But if our dollar is no longer the standard, why do you need to talk to American banks? Why do you need to deal with them at all? I'll just go and buy a bunch of Ethereum and use that to go buy my weapons from, Iran or whatever. I can go buy oil from Saudi Arabia, using stellar lumens or whatever oil coin might come out. Okay? So you're seeing the industry fight back, the financial sector fight back. You're seeing the wealthy fight back the best way they can. They've already tried. They're already controlling our electoral system and our election process. We have kleptocrats in our government here in the U.S. just snatching stuff left and right because come this election season in the fall in November, a lot of them there's going to be a big wave and a big shift. So they're busy trying to change laws, gerrymander, do whatever the fuck they can do to try to stay in power as much as they possibly can and grabbing whatever they can from wherever because they need to do that because that ride is almost up. Okay? All right, but the country's government has been moving toward greater regulation of digital currencies in recent weeks in introducing a law in late December that gives authorities the power to shut down Bitcoin exchanges. Such moves remain a possibility, Park said, before likening cryptocurrency trading, speculation, and gambling. All right, so let me go to the next paragraph. I read all that shit. All right, so the exchanges where people trade digital currencies have also come under scrutiny from South Korean authorities. BitThumb, one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, said it was visited by tax officials this week. Another exchange, Coin1, is being investigated on suspicion of facilitating illegal gambling through cryptocurrencies, South Korean police told CNN Money. Coin1 couldn't be reached for comment. South Koreans' plans to rein in digital currency trading come after China cracked down on the practice last year. Beijing announced new regulations on Bitcoin in September, prompting many of the country's top exchanges to stop trading it and causing its price to crash. All right? Its price to crash. It's still sitting at above $10,000. All right? But that's crashing. That's crashing. Its price has crashed. Now, has its price gone down? Yeah. This fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's being spread by these major media outlets, this shit does have an effect because whenever you're trying to convince your grandma to go buy, some Ethereum and get in on, trading cryptocurrency, it's going to be a little bit harder whenever she's getting this shit pumped to her, via CNN, NBC, MSNBC, Fox, because everybody views these outlets as some kind of altruistic service. Like these individuals are just telling you about the world because they just want you to know, because they love you so much. They care about you and they want you to be informed. These people don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a shit about your grandma. They are paid by individuals who have fiat money. And so those individuals who have fiat money are saying, you know what, this is a problem. Because I can't get access to this stuff. I can go to the Fed and have them print up more dollars, and through manipulation of the markets and passing laws and shit, I can make sure I end up with more money than anybody else. I can't do that with crypto. So let me go and use my tens of billions of dollars to spread as much fear, uncertainty, and doubt in every media platform that I have access to. Newspapers, financial advisors, movies, music, whatever I can use, whatever is going to reach the people, websites, whatever I can use, whatever is going to reach the people. I need to convince them that this is the worst decision that they could ever make. And that will protect my $1 million investment. Because if everybody goes out and they get this Bitcoin, and I don't have access to the Bitcoin, then my $10 million is going to be like 10 million rocks. No one's going to want it, except for those broke individuals who still subscribe to my fiat-based model. And God forbid another country says, you know what, the dollar really is not attractive anymore. And that decreases the value of my money that much more. That decreases my power. That decreases my influence. That's what Citizens United was in this country. It was an attempt to basically turn money into voice. And it succeeded. And that's how we ended up with Trump as president. That's how we ended up with the Koch brothers infiltrating our government. Because money has basically been turned into speech in this country. So the more money you have in this country, the louder your speech is. But if we make fiat currency obsolete, we level the playing field, then your voice, your $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion voice becomes a little, a murmur, a whisper. Yeah, will you still have wealth? Will you still have assets? Yes, you will. All right? But it levels the playing field for you in comparison to other people. Other people can have a voice too. And these places don't want that. Okay? So yeah, I know it's a dark day, for cryptocurrencies in regard to this South Korean news, but we are in a place where the market has imploded, where these numerous projects that are out there like Neo, all right, Vincoin, which did amazing yesterday. I saw 52% gains being made yesterday. Um, you know, these projects are legitimate projects. They're designed. They're attached to legitimate people. I was looking at Vibe coin that was out yesterday. It was up 30%, something like that, or whatever. New currency on the Binance market, just got introduced, and I was like, I don't know if I don't know about a coin, I'll just throw my money into it. I do a little bit of research, but I saw the notice on Binance. So I just let it sit there, and then I came back in the afternoon, and that coin had shot up to like $2.25. I'm pretty sure it was introduced in in the 12, 15, 20 cent range or whatever, but it was up to two something or whatever. So that was significant gains that were made in just that one day alone. And yeah, I'm pretty sure because it was a new coin, a bunch of people jumped on it or whatever, because a lot of people aren't savvy in regard to this cryptocurrency space, and just want to hop on the hotness or whatever. And you'll win sometimes, but you'll lose a lot as well. And I don't like to chase the pack like that. I'll sit back and let it settle in the market, and then I'll determine whether or not I want to get invested. But yeah, so I went out researching, and wow, Vibecoin. Let me pull that up real quick for you. Enlarge this window so you can see. If I can get it. Oh shit! One's on the wrong side of the screen, Brandon. All right. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do it how I do it, how people are supposed to do it. So I click on Vibe, takes it to coin market cap. It's now down to 178. So if I bought it yesterday whenever it was popping up, when it was popping off, that would have sucked. It's like here's the first day it was introduced to Binance. All right, so it started here, and so it was at 45 cents. So that was a good buy when it was first introduced. Jumped all the way up to 1.8 to 2. Here we go, 261. That's whenever I saw it last night. But now we're already back down to 178, 175 or whatever. And this is what happens when a new coin hits the market or whatever. So this is why it's good to get in on those ICOs. When you get the ICOs, you're definitely going to have the gains, but then it'll come back down. This is where a bunch of people sell off and whatnot. When it reaches its peak or whatever, they take their ICO gains and they bounce. But Vibe has it's a pretty cool coin. So I can look at everything here. I can go to the website, look at the announcement. Let's look at the website. So Vibe specializes in creating these photorealistic holograms. I saw. And then also digital assets. So basically, it's not just, basically allows individuals to, artists and individuals, porn stars. It kind of alluded to that, but you could tell exactly partially that's where they're going. So you got live performances you're going to be able to see. I can go and see Beyonce, in 360s, surround sound. It'll be just like I'm at a concert. She's there in front of me. I got my VR goggles on, and Beyonce will be, just shaking her thing right in front of me, or whatever, and okay, all right, I can see how some people would be into that. But then you can also say, like I said, your favorite porn star, right there, doing what they do in front of you, link that up with some virtual sex toys and everything, and you got yourself a full-blown experience. All right, so you can see how this could really go places. Because that's the other thing too, is people are talking about with their likenesses. Al Pacino's getting up there in age. Knock on wood, please, Al Pacino don't die. But so Al Pacino's getting up there in age, and yeah, if we can get Al Pacino's likeness digitized, then yeah, we might be able to control that likeness, from this point forward. That asset can be linked to his estate. From this point forward, his cousins, nephews, brothers, sisters, whoever is still alive, who's in control of his estate, can profit off of that. We can have Al Pacino's performances, in later on, down the line, in a remake of The Godfather, for instance, just like they did with Star Wars and everything. So if you have the capacity to envision and see what's coming down the chain, where this technology is going, how it could be implemented, then you can see, why these projects, or some of these projects, are viable. All right. And so, yeah, they have a white paper. And so you can scroll through the white paper. And let's just break down this white paper real quick. All right. So it's a nice little PDF that's available online. Anybody can see. But you can see the technology at work, what they're doing. VR is a real thing. There's a lot of people, teachers can use this space. So there's a lot of, there is a practical technical application, an academic application, an educational, a business application, a pornography application, a gaming application. There's so many ways that this technology can be used to change things. All right. So here's how cryptocurrency works in this space. Cryptocurrency and the Ethereum blockchain, so it's an Ethereum-based token. So if you invest in Ethereum, then yeah, these individuals they have a token that has forked off of this that can be used to create, that has to use that blockchain in order to operate. So this creates more stability for Ethereum. Cryptocurrency and the Ethereum blockchain make it easier for creators to get paid, giving them an incentive to use our system. Content creators such as musicians and teachers both share the same dilemma. There's no easy way for them to earn money online. YouTube requires hundreds of thousands of views to generate a return, which most content creators will find difficult to obtain. Selling videos or music online is at times difficult and can leave you open to piracy. Utilizing the Vibe currency on the Vibe Hub platform is a solution to this problem. Creators can charge fees in Vibe currency regardless of where they are in the world and get paid instantly without having to wait due to long process periods. The experiences Vibe Hub offers are unique and cannot be pirated. This gives Vibe Hub intrinsic value that's unique to other platforms. These factors will make our platform lucrative to creators as the opportunities for monetization are astronomical. Okay? And they partnered with people, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, PlayStation VR. Like, these are actual, partnerships and companies that existed before cryptocurrency was even a thing. And so it's like, all right, so this gives me more confidence about this white paper. And I probably should have researched this. And I learned my lesson yesterday. I'm going to go on, and what I'm going to do from this point forward is I'm going to go on and I'm going to, as soon as I get a notice from Binance about something new being added, I'm going to go research that shit and then hop on if I like it and buy it. So yeah, it goes on to talk about these software development kits, and then now it's talking about ICO distribution, which already happened before. Yesterday it was added. Then now token sale fund distribution. And so you can see what they're going to do with the token, how it's going to use the funds that are raised from the sell of this token, because a lot of people are using these tokens. A lot of these projects are using these tokens for fundraising. Some of these projects, like Neo, are using their token not just for fundraising, but to develop the platform. After it's already been launched, so Neo's already out there, but they're still using that token that they're releasing to the market. They're using the gas that's generated, from Neo that's appreciated in value to help pay individuals to keep developing for the platform. And they're going to be doing revenue sharing. So that's another thing. The Vibe is going to be doing revenue sharing. Apparently, I didn't see this either. This is the first time I read the white paper. People, I saw yesterday. I watched a video on basically what it is, but I didn't go in depth with the white paper because I wanted to do that with you. So revenue sharing, basically turns this cryptocurrency into an asset. and that they're going to be making money, and that money is going to be passed down to people who subscribe to the Vibe Hub application and ecosystem, which is cool. I've talked about Ether Sports. Ether Sports is an ICO that's getting ready to come out. I mean, they already closed their ICO this past Monday. They sold out. But that's going to hit the market, and I'm definitely going to be on that once it hits. So I'm tuned into that, where basically you're going to be able to wager. You online gamers can wager who's going to win matches, bet on themselves, using these tokens, and then using Ether and Bitcoin and recognized cryptocurrencies. And so I really believe in that model. I really believe there's individuals who want the legitimacy of the NFL. I mean, imagine if an NFL player could bet on themselves, in regards to how many passes they're going to complete or whatever. Yeah, you got some area for potential manipulation and whatnot. For the good thing about digital technologies and digital gaming is that it's much harder to game the system and go with that being unmonitored. I have to, if I want to investigate whether or not somebody was using steroids. I got to get access to their body. I got to look, and run expensive drug tests. And there's ways around it or whatever. It's not the same way you got some ADD or ADHD abusers and whatnot in regard to medications. But doping is not like a huge problem for the online gaming community. Either you got the skills or you don't, and the computer will let you know. And there's ways that you can check and make sure people aren't using bots and things and whatnot. So the platform I think is going to be sound. So here they even have a breakdown of how Vibe is supposed to be used, the actual token, holograms are going to be used. Their capture model, it's pretty cool, and I really think they can go places. This is what happened. This was just released yesterday, and you saw it. I mean, it still shot up and made a lot of gains. But let's look at the market cap now. Let's look at what's going on right now. Let me refresh this just to make sure we're all on the same page. All right. So in the past 24 hours, Bitcoin's down, 1.8%. But like I said before, it's still at $1,300, almost $1,400 a coin. Okay? So this is not a situation where Bitcoin has gone into the gutter and we're about to go flatline here or whatever. It's still going to be above 10 grand, still being used. Ethereum, still 1,200 a pop. Okay? So, Ripple's down to 195, but Ripple wasn't supposed to be huge. Look at the circulating supply. That's what makes it number 3. So if I take this, multiply this, times this, that's what tells me how much is, that's what gives me that. All right? So, let's stop with the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Let people know, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Cryptocurrency has weathered, greater storms than this. South Korea, it's just doing what South Korea is going to do. Any country that's controlled by a fiat currency, any country that's beholden to the banks. The only thing that this is doing to me is letting me know what institutions, what countries are controlled by their banking institutions more than anything else. And pretty much we can say that all of them are, but not all banking institutions value fiat the same way. Like I said, Japan is fine, because Japan knows that regardless of what we do, whatever is done globally, they're still going to have stuff that people want. So whoever has money, whether it's cryptocurrency, a dollar, gold bricks, or whatever, they're going to give it to Japan because they want the product. It's those countries that don't have products that individuals want that feel squeezed in this competitive space. Okay. All right. So thank you. I've been experimenting a little bit with what I'm going to do, or what I've been doing with recording, screen recording, and everything. Trying to step my game up, trying to do more live streams, but yeah, just continue to respect the tech and stick with me. Once again, I've also begun to invest and help other people as far as investment is concerned. So if you're involved, if you're interested in investing with me and joining my fund or whatever, just hit me up directly. You can also donate Ether to me at the address, in the link, or at the address in my address in the information. I guess like portion of the Facebook group or whatever, but I'll post this there, as well. So anyway, have a good day. Hope you enjoyed this conversation. Respect the tech.